Hello, YouTube. I'm bringing you another video within the last few days. And something got brought to my attention today, and I thought I should address it because I really enjoy the show a lot. Both series, the first one and kind of the sequel series. And I wanted to address some comments that were made about this show. The show in question, as you can probably tell by the image already, is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Now, here's the thing. Whether y'all want to admit it or not, there was a Last Airbender movie that came out. I forget the year, actually. I don't know if I can find that real quick. But regardless, there was a live-action movie that came out a little while back. And it was by M. Night Shyamalan. Now, I own The Last Airbender. I own the entire series on DVD. I would own it on Blu-ray, but it's not available. And on the Season 2 DVD, there was an interview between the creators of the show and M. Night Shyamalan. And the creators of the show are Brian Kononitsko, I'm sorry, I probably said that wrong, and Michael Dante Dimitarnio. I probably said these wrong, but anyway, the point is Brian and Michael, and they had kind of an interview thing going with M. Night Shyamalan about the live-action movie that was coming out. Now, M. Night has had some hits and misses. He had Sixth Sense and Signs and Unbreakable. And he had some misses too, like The Happening and The Village, Lady in the Water. I think it was Lady in the Water. Anyway, those were all really bad. But from the interview, I was actually excited to see what he could do. Because he was talking about how much of a fan his kids were and how much of a fan he was of the series. And how excited he was to look at it. And when he first brought them the screenplay script for the movie, it was actually the entire story arc. And they came to him and they were like, you know you're actually going to have to cut some of this out. This is much too long of a movie. And that got me excited because I really thought, this is a guy that actually enjoys and understands the appreciation for this show. So if anyone can do it right, he can, right? Wrong. As it stands right now, The Last Airbender is at a 6% on Rotten Tomatoes. And it is considered a failed adaptation for among anything for not only the fans, but for the general audience of the show. Okay, and even movie critics. Everyone hated this movie. And based upon what IGN says, they said that they spoke with Brian and Michael, and they actually said that they elected to pretend that the live-action film doesn't exist. Which exactly is my thoughts on it, too, because it is so horrible. It is such a garbage movie. Okay, the special effects are subpar. The humor's bad. The acting is just downright awful. The action, it feels like they try to do some action. They do their moves, and several minutes go by, like the movie lags almost, and then their items like the rocks or the fire is thrown at the enemy. It is absolutely ridiculous. They changed up the story quite a bit, which I'm fine with interpretations if done right. But this wasn't done right. And as far as I was to understand, this wasn't really even supposed to be an interpretation. Okay, it was supposed to be the actual, like an actual adaptation. It was supposed to be very true to the source material. So there shouldn't have been that much that was really different, minus stuff that they would have to cut in order for it to fit within time. Okay, so that being said, IGN actually interviewed M. Night Shyamalan and talked about this movie. And he basically said that he doesn't understand doesn't understand the hatred, because he said the average age on the show was like 9 years old. Which I believe that's actually wrong. I don't think it was 9. I don't understand where. I think it was 12. Aang was 12. I may be a little off on that, but in any case, he talked about how he could have done the movie like the Transformers movies with Megan Fox, have it towards a kind of more adult audience, or he could do the movie for a more kid audience, which is the route he chose to go. And he talks about how kids love his movie, and parents have actually basically thanked him for the movie because of how much the kids love it. And he talked about how he just had to go with what the show did. He had to do that mindset and group it towards children. Now, I take a lot of fault with this. Like, I'm so irritated by these comments. Because for one, for me, I worked at a daycare center with children all the time. They watch The Last Airbender cartoon series. They hate the movie. I don't know any kid that likes the movie. So I don't know what he's talking about there. Secondly, you have movies like Toy Story or Lion King or Finding Nemo, Up, Beauty and the Beast, Incredibles. You have these movies that can both relate with children and adults. You don't exclude one, okay? You have a movie that's so well crafted, both of them can identify with it and can enjoy it. And for him to go out and be like, well, this movie was basically, he targeted his movie just for kids. First, he had to know the audience. And by the audience, that includes kids, teenagers, and adults. He himself was an adult who appreciated this show. So that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay. Secondly, doing a movie targeted towards a 10-year-old, you can actually do that, like I said, and do it well. And what we got was not good. Like, it wasn't even good by a children's standard. There were confusing parts that would need to be explained to the child. So, and that's from the source material. The source material kind of branches out a little bit. So don't give me that is just for kids crap, because that's all that is. Secondly, that doesn't excuse the acting. That doesn't excuse the bad action sequences or the bad CGI or the terrible humor, because that was just awful humor. And it doesn't even excuse the mispronunciation of the characters' names. If you are trying to get it with the kids that watch this show, do not mispronounce the characters' names. And for goodness sakes, have the actual actors and actresses look the part. Okay? There's no excuse for that. There's no excuse at all. So, this is just... it's just ludicrous. It really irritates me as a fan of the show, as a fan of movies, because he still doesn't seem to get it. He still doesn't seem to understand that he messed up. And it's almost like he's really, what he's saying is he didn't mess up. He's saying that really it's our fault that the movie is perceived what it is, because we shouldn't try to perceive the movie as something that can be for both. It should be strictly for kids. And as a kids movie, it should be appreciated a little bit more. Basically is what I'm getting out of it. And I find this utter ludicrous. I love the last Airbender series. I love Avatar. I love Legend of Korra. Like, those are really good series in my opinion. And this movie was a stain on it. And it was a stain not only by the audience, even the targeted audience. It was by the targeted audience. It was by the, adult audience and the teen audience. They didn't like it either. The critics didn't like it. And not even the creators liked it. So if everyone hates it and you're still defending it as being like, oh, well, it was for kids and kids love it. No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't know a single kid that likes this movie. And I don't blame them. I don't want to sit through it. I sit through kids' movies all the time. I would rather watch freaking Blue's Clues or Teletubbies or something like that, because those are movies that are strictly targeted towards little kids. Those are movies that do that. Last Airbender was not one of these movies. It was made in a way that it could be enjoyed by a broad audience, and it was enjoyed by a broad audience. So he's full of crap, in my opinion, and I really don't trust him anymore. I don't trust him with anything, and he hasn't earned my trust, and I doubt he has you guys. I doubt y'all trust him either. I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some of y'all do. And if you do like Last Airbender, please comment and tell me why. But I think I've gone on long enough on this rant. I just wanted to get it out there because this link was sent to me. Again, it was IGN did an interview. So if you want to read it yourself, you're more than welcome to do it. Please go and check it out. It was published today. I may actually put the link. I actually will. I'll put the link down in the description. And then let me know what you think about all this. So, anyway, thanks everybody, and peace.